Hi, I'm Kat, and I'm here for Life in Lewisburg with Steve Shooter from Bucknell University. He's a mechanical engineering professor, and he's here today to talk to us a little bit about a grant he has with the National Science Foundation. So, want to tell us what the grant's about and who's involved?
Yep. So this is a grant with the National Science Foundation to explore how we can use the cyber infrastructure to support reverse engineering and product dissection.
Okay.
So
do you want to translate that for the common folk?
All right, so the cyber infrastructure is basically computers that are connected by things like the internet.
Okay.
And so how can we use that connectivity of information to support activities like taking stuff apart, figuring out how it works, and using that to teach students better about technology and engineering and the products that are in the world around them. There's actually what we're going to talk about here is that this project we did with the middle school. And there was an opportunity with the National Science Foundation to hire a teacher, which we hired Tris West as a research experience for teachers, supplement to our grant. And what we decided to do is Tris created a web quest to get the students, the sixth graders, to explore engineering and place it in context with other careers such as archaeology, history, anthropology, and so on. And so if you think about what an archaeologist does, I mean, an archaeologist finds artifacts and then uses those artifacts to establish meaning about the culture, the society that left those artifacts behind. And if you think about the creators of artifacts for our culture, for our society, it's the engineers.
Absolutely.
And so this stapler is an engineered artifact that describes a portion of our culture.
I'm Tris West, and I'm the sixth grade middle school teacher here at Donald H. Eichhorn Middle School. I teach social studies and technology. I have designed a web quest called Digging Up the Past and Putting It Back Together Again. And my students are assuming the role of an archaeologist, an anthropologist, a mechanical engineer, and a historian. And our kids go out and they find an artifact that was hidden using GPS handhelds, and they'll be assuming the role of those four professions, those artifacts that they find, and they will be comparing and contrasting it to other similar artifacts. The setting is the year 3008. It's a place called Westopolis, where it used to be called Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. So they have to do research on Lewisburg and Pennsylvania. They're going to create a presentation that discusses not only the history of Lewisburg and Pennsylvania, but also comparing and contrasting of their artifacts, as well as comparing and contrasting how similar each of those professions really are.
So what are you doing with this whole project?
Well, one of the things that I've helped to do on this project is to try to help design a way that we could see if the project that the kids were doing had an impact on their interest in science or engineering careers.
Oh, wow.
So the way that we decided to go about that was to pick a career interest inventory, kind of like a survey that you would give someone that would tell them whether they were interested in a science or engineering career. And so we gave that to the students before they participated in the web quest that Mr. West developed. And then we're going to give them that same survey again after they complete the web quest, and hopefully what we'll see is increased interest in science and engineering careers as a result of having participated in this activity. Some of the research that we looked at while we were developing this said that you really do have to start to get kids thinking about these kinds of careers earlier than we typically do. So oftentimes middle school kids won't really know anything about engineering or potential careers in science, and they have misperceptions about what those careers might entail or what kind of work those people do. So that by so some of the research indicates that if we can inform children earlier about those kinds of careers and what goes into pursuing one of those careers, that they're more likely to develop an interest. So we're hopeful.
I learned that mechanical engineers find something, take it apart, and then put it back together in a new and better way. I've always wanted to be a cook or a chef, but now I'm thinking about maybe being an architect or a science teacher.
What I like best about this class is how we all worked as a team and got to take apart an actual object that we went out and found. So it was more of interactive than studying and taking tests. So it was a lot more fun. I want to be a musician when I grow up, but the mechanical engineering seems really fun too. Before this class, I've never thought about being a mechanical engineer. So yes, it has influenced me.
Well, thanks for sharing your time with us today. It sounds like a really great project, and do you imagine that you'll be able to will there be opportunities for future grants where you can collaborate in the future?
Well, yeah, absolutely, and it's fun because Tris is already thinking about what he's going to do with it next year.
Oh, that's terrific.
We're already looking to the future.
Well, we'll have another show on that, so stay tuned.
Great.
Well, thanks for watching, and share this with all your friends.